G'day, my name's Ross McLean, and together with my son Cash, daughter-in-law Joss, we operate Coolum. Coolum is our 17,000 hectare cattle breeding and trading operation in central Queensland, Australia. Before, we were just at war with nature. We were battling everything that wanted to grow here. We were spraying with insecticides and herbicides, and we were fighting a losing battle. Now, what we're enjoying is not killing things anymore. We're not spraying herbicide, we're not spraying insecticide, and we're actually encouraging the things that we used to kill, we're encouraging them to grow here. So that's one big thing. The other thing is to wake up in the morning and know that the decisions you make that day are going to make a difference. The fact of the matter is, we got to feed on the ground. Our decisions we make every day have an impact on the environmental health of the landscape that we manage.
Ian and Diane Haggerty here. We manage 65,000 acres in the northeastern wheat belt of Western Australia.
I run the sheep enterprise with a team of other ladies that help out, and we've got a self-replacing merino flock, and we've been working with those animals within this landscape since 1994, but we took away all artificial interventions with the animals in 2001, and they have just flourished ever since and enabled them to utilise their own intuitive wisdom of how to select graze throughout a landscape to transform that whole landscape with its microbial and nutritional capacities. So we've learned a heck of a lot from these animals, and it's been a really exciting journey.
In our cropping operations, we're not using any synthetic fertilisers, no insecticides or fungicides. So we're working with natural systems. We're using some biostimulants, which is like Johnson Sioux extracts and worm juice, and just working with nature and seeing it just respond so quickly.
G'day, look, I'm Des Bolton and I'm from Burdekin River Pastures. I'm part of the management team there that run 3 properties on the northern end of the Burdekin River, which is one of the largest rivers in northern Queensland. At BRP we run a regenerative operation, and part of that is working with nature, and we're trying to build ecological function, and within that will give us resilience. It also contributes to the planet, in our view, that we contribute to those big picture issues like climate change, sustainability, clean food, and the health of humans at the end of the day in terms of our food production. And we can truly see the health of our land increasing in this regenerative process, and that really gives us a kick. It's using nature and basically managing along those lines where we're following, nature's path as opposed to us having a top-down approach.
So yeah, Greg and Anne-Marie Flynn. Our place is 6,000 acres, 2,500 hectares, depending on what side of the Pacific you're on. It's a combination of so many different things that all lead to a healthy landscape. So this paddock we're in here, this particular grass, we hadn't seen it 5 years ago. And because we put rest into the country, used our animals on a time-controlled system, we've now ended up with this forest bluegrass, and it's just getting thicker, and there's also a heap of other species of grass, forms, the whole lot in this landscape. The ground's covered, and we've had a very dry 4 months and there's still green feed. So that's all because of adding rest, which has just benefited the rest of the landscape.
The number of species, we had someone come and help and assess the number of species, grass species we had, and it was quite phenomenal the variety, the species we'd never seen before, and that's all attributed to rest.
Years ago, there used to be a lot smaller farms and properties in the area. They were viable until the fertility started to decline and they couldn't carry as many cattle, they couldn't carry as many sheep. The crops weren't producing like they should, so they became unviable. So neighbours bought them up and that family moved away. To halt that degradation and maintain a healthy population in our local community is one big plus. Back when we were continuous grazing in a dry time, the reason we were running out of grass, we thought, because we didn't get enough rain. It wasn't anything to do with the fact we had too many cattle. So cattle remained in every paddock all the time. We fed them. They ate all the grass down to bare ground. When it rained, it washed the topsoil away. There was nothing to hold it there. Very little rain infiltrated, and then went into the gullies, the rivers, and out onto the reef. So you're losing topsoil. And to lose cattle back then was standard. Like that was just half of the course. You lost cattle. In the droughts that we've had since we've been cell grazing, we haven't lost a beast and we haven't lost any ground cover.
Regenerative practices matter mainly because we're wanting to try and remove some of the impacts that humans have had on the landscape. We've been very heavy-handed in the past with some of our agricultural practices, and to restore that back so that ecosystem function can occur with water quality, air quality and food quality, as we've mentioned, for those things to be achieved again, we do have to restore that capacity of that landscape to function well as an ecosystem.
Regenerative agriculture has a big perspective because I think it answers a lot of big issues. It answers the issue of carbon, it answers the issue of climate. The big issues there are that I think land will do far more than renewable energies. Land management holds more than 50% carbon. And it actually makes a difference in terms of temperature and climate change. There's plenty of examples around the world where that's been done. And it gives us an opportunity to show on a small scale like we're at and allow that process to continue on to be taken over on a wider scale. Someone needs to do it and someone needs to actually have the fails, learn by it, teach others, provide examples, and that in turn will be a benefit to the rest of Australia and the planet at the end of the day.